Welcome! I am Unapologetically Eric. You can find me on Facebook at Unapologetically Eric or on X at Eric Not Sorry. Thank you for checking me out. If you liked what you heard, I do have previous episodes and I have more to come. Like, follow, share, tell your friends, family. Please don't keep me your dirty little secret. How's everybody doing out there today? Me, I am caffeinated, highly medicated, but never regulated, baby, so let's fucking go! Today's episode is kind of sports related. It's more sports adjacent. Are you familiar with what MMA is? MMA stands for Mixed Martial Arts. I am sure some of you are familiar with UFC. Yes, UFC. So the fighting in the octagon. I have a friend of mine that's probably going to listen to this, and I already can hear her. I don't understand why people do that. It's so. Hey, you know what? She's not a fan. I don't knock her. That's her vibe. That's all good. I like it, but I don't dive in to all of that. But I want to dive into this. I have a story about a former champion who was sentenced to prison. This is not the story you would think. This is not like a champion falls into drugs and addiction. No. What he did and the story around it has pulled a lot of people's emotions. Some people are yay, some people are nay, and I'm here just to discuss the story, but I also have some questions and comments at the end. So I went to Grok on X, and I just did a search of conviction for this man, and I got this whole story, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to get into that. So, as you've guessed from the title, the man's name is Cain Velasquez. Cain is a former UFC Heavyweight Champion. You have to be a fucking badass. Like, if you don't know anything about mixed martial arts or the UFC or anything like that, you go through hell. You train your ass off. You have to be a bad motherfucker. Not only to be a champion, but to be the heavyweight champ, you have to be a BMF, okay? You are the alpha of alphas, okay? So, you have a man that has trained clearly very hard for a very long time to get to where he is. Clearly. He busted his ass. Legitimately broke his body fighting to get to where he was. Heavyweight champ. Then, something happened one day. He was informed of something that, well, for any father, would destroy their world. Cain was informed of a heinous act. So I'm going to read the synopsis that Grok wrote. It's kind of lengthy. I'll do my best to get through. I'll skim through some of it. So I may pause at times, but then I've got questions and comments at the end. On February 28th, 2022, Velasquez, a former UFC heavyweight champion, was involved in a violent confrontation in San Jose, California. The incident was triggered by allegations that Harry Goularte, I believe I'm saying that right, a 43-year-old man linked to a daycare attended by Velasquez's 4-year-old son, had molested the child. Oh. According to reports, Goularte, who lived at the daycare property operated by his mother Patricia, allegedly took Velasquez's son into a bathroom and committed lewd acts, with the abuse reportedly occurring over 100 times. Ooh. Okay. Goularte was arrested on Friday, this date, blah, 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 blah. However, he was released on supervised recognizance 3 days later, a decision that enraged Velasquez and his family. Yeah. Yes. If I'm not a parent, but it doesn't take a genius to, yeah. If I had kids, I would be kind of enraged too if someone told me that John Q. Public or whatever was doing lewd things to my 4-year-old, especially if I heard it happened over 100 times. Yeah, I'd kind of be pissed off too. Oh, wait, and they're let out, basically on bond or whatever? Yeah, I'd be pissed. Okay, fair enough. All right. Oh, yeah, sorry, Grok, I don't like that. Okay. Determined to take matters into his own hands, Velasquez tracked Goularte down. That afternoon, he spotted Goularte driving a truck with his stepfather, Paul Bender, and his mother, Patricia, near the daycare center in Morgan Hill. Velasquez pursued them in a 11-mile high-speed chase through busy streets, allegedly ramming their vehicle with his own. During the pursuit, Velasquez fired multiple shots. Ooh. Bender was struck in the arm and torso, though he survived after emergency surgery. No one else was injured. Velasquez was arrested shortly after, yada yada. He faced a slew of charges. At his arraignment, yada yada. Let's see here. At his arraignment, Velasquez pled not guilty in August of 2022, with his defense arguing that his actions, while reckless, were driven by a father's desperation to protect his child. Yep. Fair. Okay, yep. The case garnered significant attention, polarizing opinions. Many in the MMA community, including fighters like Khabib Nurmagomedov, sorry Khabib, I tried, bro, I tried. Daniel Cormier, and Daniel Cormier, rallied behind Velasquez, framing him as a victim of a flawed justice system that failed to protect his son. A Free Cain movement gained traction online, with supporters arguing that Goularte's release justified Velasquez's response. I'll have comments on that later. Prosecutors, however, maintained that his actions constituted premeditated vigilantism, endangering innocent bystanders during the chase and shooting. I have to agree. God, I hate to say that. Velasquez spent 8 months in custody, a period he described as grueling, with limited access to family and constant threats from other inmates due to his high-profile status. He's a trophy. After multiple denied bail requests, he was granted release on November 8, 2022 on a $1 million bond under strict conditions, house arrest, GPS, yada, yada, yada. The turning point in Velasquez's criminal case came in early 2025. Facing a potential life sentence if convicted of attempted murder at trial, he accepted a plea deal. On March 14, 2025, Velasquez pled no contest to the charges. In exchange, the attempted murder charge was reduced, and prosecutors recommended a lighter sentence. Before sentencing, Velasquez issued a public apology stating, quote, "I'm sorry for the pain I caused. My actions were reckless, and I let my emotions take over when I should have trusted the system. I just wanted to protect my family," end quote. On March 21st, 2025, a Santa Clara County judge sentenced Velasquez to 5 years in prison with credit for time served, followed by 4 years of supervised probation. The judge acknowledged the mitigating factor of his son's abuse, but emphasized that taking the law into one's hands was unacceptable. With time served in good behavior, Velasquez could be eligible for parole sooner, potentially within 2 to 3 years. Now, that was the synopsis that Grok, the AI on X, came up with. Obviously, there's news articles everywhere. I'm sure ESPN has it, and, local news and all that shit. So ultimately, you have a guy who finds out his son, again, allegedly, is being abused, and he sees red. Cain, bro, right beside you. I'd see red too. But let's peel the onion back a little bit. Did Cain fuck up? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Cain, he fucked up. Should he have done what he did? No. Do I understand why? Absolutely. I can't justify what he did. Because, look, if you are a first-time listener, first off, thank you. Second of all, I am a pro-gun guy. I carry. I like it when other people carry. That's me. Doesn't have to be you, but that's me. So him carrying a firearm doesn't... I don't care. I don't give a shit. Good. Carry 12. I don't give a fuck. But when in public, you should only discharge a firearm in self-defense of yourself or others. Now, I understand some people would say he was defending his son, but not in that exact moment. It's not like he walked in the room during it and, okay, then yeah, he chased them down for over 11 miles, putting himself and the people in the other car and how many other children, everybody wants to say, think of the children, how many other people with kids, pregnant moms, grandparents, just the cars. People maybe possibly crossing the street, cyclists, and then he discharges firearm. Oh, bro, what happens if one of those fucking A, dude? I know Cain has thought about that. I know he has. Look, I get it. I get emotions. I get emotions running high, especially for an alpha dude like him. Yeah. And for a dad, hell yeah. I get it. But you know he's thought about it afterwards and was like, fuck, if one of those bullets hit somebody and some innocent kid, you know he's thought about that. In that moment, he was full throttle redlining. I mean, I get it. But yeah, he fucked up. He fucked up. You know, finding the guy, yeah. But again, I understand. I get it. I can't say what I would do. Not because of, I don't want someone knocking at my door. Because I don't know what I would do. I'm not an alpha male like Cain Velasquez. I'm not a fighter. I've never been trained to fight. I don't know what trials and tribulations he went through in life. I don't know if he grew up with a silver spoon or I have no idea. Because I didn't look into the guy's history because it's not, it doesn't matter. But he obviously trained his ass off to be the success that he was. Yeah, of course he was given talent, of course, but he honed that talent to become a fucking champion. He knows what work ethic is. He's a strong alpha dude. And then somebody fucks with his family and his kid. Not only is his kid his 4-year-old and diddling him. Yeah, I get that emotion, that fucking right. I get it. I mean, if he randomly saw the guy at Walmart and went off, I still would be like, bro, I get it. But also, he's a high-profile dude. I don't know how much money he's made or what he's worth. Again, it doesn't fucking matter. But you're a high-profile dude. But again, he's a dad. You fucked with his kid. Okay, allegedly. I don't know what happened with the other case. I guess there was something happened there and people were kind of not too thrilled about. I don't know. But again, if you bumped into him randomly at Walmart and knocked him the fuck out, okay, yeah, you charge him with assault. And again, I get it. But again, it would have been random. You literally just happened to be at the same grocery store or what have you. It's not premeditated. Again, another charge. But then again, he fired a gun at. I feel for the dude. I really do. And he fucked up. And he knows. He screwed up. But then I started thinking a little bit more. He's a fighter. Not just as a career, as a job, and obviously a passion. I mean, I know Joe Rogan has talked about this, at least this case. I don't know if he's ever gone down where I'm about to go down. If he has, I missed it. And if you guys have heard it, please tell me what episode. I want to listen to it. But I know he's talked about this because obviously Joe Rogan's a big MMA guy. And he's got a lot of MMA friends and so on and so forth. And again, I know they talked about this, but I was thinking, like, okay, you got this alpha guy, tough guy, strong, champion, all this stuff. How many shots has he taken to the head? Now, look, I'm not making fun. Really, I'm not. And I'm not making any kind of excuses here. Because, again, up until this point, I've only focused on a man and a dad, a family man that loves his loves his family and loves his son. And that bond, that emotional bond, that is, until you are a father, you don't know. Like, I don't know that bond. I'm aware of it. I understand it, but no, I don't know that bond. But I understand that it's something I don't know, but it's way more powerful than I could ever fathom. But now we're to the point where we know athletes that take many repeated hits to the head develop a thing called CTE. Some long word that makes me sound like an idiot when I try to say it. But what are some of the symptoms of CTE? Oh, and sorry, many football players, boxers, hockey players, and MMA fighters, by and large, many studies have shown get CTE. What are some of the symptoms? Headaches, violent mood swings, violence, anger, rage, basically it being enraged, like flying off the handle, often exacerbated by alcoholism and drugs, which is usually used to help stop that, or at least that's the self-medicate. Now, I don't know if he had any symptoms. I'm not saying he has it. I'm not saying any of that. All I am saying is studies on people that have taken blows to the head through a long period of time have developed this condition, which essentially is brain damage that affects things. So now you take a man who is literally a fighter, who is a father, who has that bond, someone not only fucks with his kid, but in a manner that would drive any parent over the edge. Now, again, not making excuses, but just throwing an idea out there. Does he happen to have some kind of early stage something or other like CTE that could have played a factor in his decision making? Would, say, 10 years ago, would he have thought about finding this guy? I'm going to find this motherfucker. I'm going to kick his ass. But then was like, no, I'm just going to screw shit up, man. I can't do that. Would he have thought clearer 10, 15 years ago? I don't know. Nobody will ever know. I don't know the guy. I don't know what's inside of his head, what's going on. I don't know what he's like every day. I can only assume he's a nice, chill dude. That likes to get in the ring and bang every once in a while, because that's why he's a chill dude outside of the ring. I mean, that's my only assumption. Like I said, I don't know shit about the guy other than this one snippet in his life, in his personal life, where he lost it. Understandably so. I can't justify how he went about things, but I understand the emotion and why. I get that. But that's why I'm asking that question, is through the years of training, sparring, fighting, the wins, the losses, because even when you win, whether it's a 3-punch, knockout and, wow, that took 2 seconds, congratulations, champ, or whether it was a 15, 20, 25-minute knockdown, drag-out, just brawl, how many blows to the head has he taken through the years? And did possibly, maybe, some of that happen to affect what he did that day? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Like I said, I'm not making excuses for his actions. Parents out there have done very similar things in very similar circumstances. I'm only talking about this particular one because it's Cain Velasquez. He's famous, at least in the MMA world, and people that are interested in the fighting sports. But he's a big name. He's a former heavyweight fucking champion. That's why I'm talking about it. But there are many, many examples of parents that have done similar things like this because of the defense of their child. Now, that's why. Okay, so what say you? Do you justify what he did, how he went about it? Me personally, like I said, I can't. I understand why. I understand the rage and the emotion. 100%. I'm right there with him, bro. Right there. But then car ramming, that's... But once the gun came out, and it's not like down an enclosed alley where there's no windows or you're on an open road, so many bad things can happen, man. Now, do you think his sentencing was fair? Me, I don't have an opinion on the matter. Honestly, I don't. Other than he didn't, well, I can't say he didn't do anything wrong, but like I said, I get it. So what say you? Do you think the sentencing was too lenient? Do you think it was too hard? Do you think, yeah, all right, fair enough. Parole, maybe 2.5, possibly 3 years, and then some supervised shit for about 4 years. All right, fair enough. Or too harsh, not enough. Have you ever encountered, or do you have a personal story of something like this? If so, you can, I won't tell anybody your name, like the Goo Goo Dolls song, but send me a message, send me a DM, email me or whatever, let me know, and I'll make up fake names, and I'll tell your story. But, so, Cain Velasquez, father, champion, and now convict. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about his story? How do you feel about his actions? I want to know. Cain, hang in there, brother. I hope the time goes quick for you. Your boy will be there. Until next time, y'all, keep being you.